goodness.
I caught the phone again.
This is short now.
You can tell when I got it.
This is only if you don't have a little pad there, you know, I told you guys that. We saw Dr. Denise, did I tell you that?
Yeah, you did.
We reminded her that, she goes, oh no. I said, just see that pretty hard. I see you and Paulie with the same
I'm
look.
trying to keep the with them.
Two sets of glasses.
Yep. All the cool kids do it.
Stand until you put it together.
All right, we'll stand and say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I didn't realize we were getting that close. So I don't know that.
That conference call.
Well, we're going by. All right, we'll call the
Close enough.
March Overbrook City Council meeting to order at 6 o'clock. Becky,
Oh, Polly Burke.
would you please call roll?
Cheryl Miller.
Here.
Hannah Smith. Matt Craig. Kyle Michael. We have a quorum. Kyle will be here shortly. He said he was running a few minutes ago.
I understand. Kyle will be here, so we'll put him as present when he gets here. Understand, we have quorum. All right. Takes us to approval of agenda as presented. Do we have any changes, corrections, or additions to the agenda? I don't have anything.
While we're looking at that, I tried to get in today and it said I needed a code. So I backed out and got in again and it said I needed a code. And I just sat there like, you know.
Call us.
But what happened was, after about 20 seconds, boom, I was able to get in.
Cause I get the alerts.
So do I.
And so one of us just has to say, okay.
Yeah, that's
So-
what I figured happened.
And
I
I
think we both did at the same time.
okay. Cause I got an alert and I was like, what is that? And then it disappeared. And then I got another one. I was like, oh, yes.
That's what mine was.
Okay.
Because I'm like rats.
So we'll remember that. Vaguely remember that.
Is there a way we can have it not happen?
We're Ben
Okay.
is working on a different path, so it would be easier to access than this. Sorry.
Do we have changes, corrections, or additions to the agenda?
I'll make a motion.
All right, we got a motion to approve the agenda.
I move.
Cheryl moves, we approve the agenda. Holly, did you second that?
Sure. Yes, I seconded it.
Okay.
I talked too quiet. Sorry about that.
All right, you ready? Okay. All right, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion passes. All right, that takes us to the consent agenda. Do we have anything to talk about, pull out, discuss on the consent agenda?
D8 library board, the report is in there, but there were a resignation, and then Liz Court's term will be up. Jaden Lindquist is interested in being on the board. Her letter of introduction is in the packet, so I didn't know if that wanted to vote on it separately or just want to leave it in consent.
What you guys want to do? You want to leave that appointment in the consent agenda?
Meaning we don't vote on it.
Or you're gonna vote
You
on
vote on it in the consent agenda, you just approve
Just
it.
be part of the consent agenda. You want to do it separately or together? Okay. All right. welcome, Kyle. We're just at the consent agenda, and we have, resignation on the, library board and an interested party from Jaden to be a part of that board, so we're looking at whether we're gonna approve that together.
Is Summer Taylor's resignation in there? She
I-
resigned months ago.
Did not get an actual resignation, I just got a letter saying she resigned.
Yeah.
Just Kyle saying she resigned.
Okay. I thought it was not.
Okay, well. All right, so I guess we'll take a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make that motion.
A second.
Polly will make the motion to approve the consent agenda. We got a second by Cheryl. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Okay. That takes us to special reports. Echo 1, sewer project updates. Pre-construction meeting is March 19th at 1:30.
Can I ask a quick question just on
Yes.
something that was in the consent agenda? Madison leaves on the 20th or returns on the 20th?
She returns on the 20th.
Okay. And she's already gone?
Yeah, she went second.
Okay.
Yeah, her, family medical leave was approved.
I remember, but I just couldn't remember the date.
I thought she and they were gonna be taking care of the office next week.
No, Ben is running the office next week.
Okay, there's something I read said
The
Madison.
end of the, at the end of the month.
Okay.
Bailey and Madison will be running the.
Sorry. I didn't know if it was sewer. Okay.
That's fine. I was putting it in my phone, make sure I had it in my calendar. Okay.
Is that something you wish we would attend, would be helpful?
If you would like to attend the pre-con meeting, we do need to know how many people are going to attend, at least from the council side. Cause if it's gonna be more than 3, we'll may have to notice that up. If a couple of you wanna come, and then we won't notice it up, but you're certainly welcome to come, as many of you wanna come. We're gonna talk about contracts, probably initial schedule, how things are gonna look, meet everybody, who's in charge, get all the contact information, typical pre-con meeting,
What time is that on the 19th?
1:30.
I will not be able to do that.
So, you all are welcome to come. If you wanna call, if you want us to call in or have a Teams meeting, we can certainly do that as well. So, I don't know what else we'll have in there, probably be no, updates on that. Everything's been approved, and we'll be moving forward. In the budget line, when we get to talking about that, it is gonna be all housed in the 19. So we'll be, approving, once we get into construction, we'll be requesting approval from the council to pay any invoices, much like the water project. So be sure you read, or if we have any, I guess, concerns with progress, withholding dollars or whatever, we'll wanna get that out front. Cause there's some requirements in the contract that we need to make written notification if we're not gonna accept, or we have a discrepancy on the pricing or anything, progress and that kind of thing, so. I don't anticipate any of that happening, but, we do wanna be sure we know what the rules are associated with that. So, and as we move forward, we won't pay, we'll receive the dollars from KDHE, before we actually cut the check and pay them. So, we've been doing it a bit, right up to this point, with all the other stuff, we've been going ahead and paying them, because really it's just been the engineering and, project fees. There's really no reason to do that, but once we get into construction, we'll change that. If everybody's comfortable with that. Okay. All right. We've got some information, it's not part of this current sewer project, but we do have some, did get information to the contract, or the engineering firm for options, at least elevations and those kinds of things. They haven't got those shot. I think we've sent those, but if not, I'll validate we've sent those to the engineering firm.
Sewer project or Surrey?
Surrey, and at the mobile home park. So, not really part of that, but it's the other part of Schwab's work. Okay, that takes us to F1, public comments. Any comments from the public? Anyone want to address the council? Okay.
I do too.
All right. If we have no public comments, we'll move on to maintenance action items.
What you're reporting?
Yeah. Thank you, Becky.
Couple things, the county, we are working with the county, to work on a couple of, issues. Go ahead. We can take a break if we need to, until Hannah gets back.
I'll figure out the screens.
Alright, while you're waiting on, while we're waiting on Hannah, you can figure out your screens.
Yeah, some of the screens
Is it on the other screen? You can't get to it? I hate it when I do that.
No, I only have the mirror where it's put both.
Really?
What?
You don't like her? Oh, I was gonna say,
We
it's
could-
your daughter? Oh, yeah. I thought her paragraph was lovely, what she said. I thought, I like her just from what she said.
I can pull it up.
I think
I thought you were just
they're
being
excited about having somebody that has a young child on the board, because I think her input will be pretty valuable.
I think her name is Jane what?
Lindquist.
Lindquist, and she's your daughter.
She's technically my stepdaughter.
She was what?
She's technically my stepdaughter. We got along.
Oh, sure.
She's on the new house over there.
This is what it's last
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
It locked me out.
Neat.
I can't move it now. I have two screens, but it won't let me move it.
I love that
Oh, but
she's getting
she's so
involved
cute.
already.
Oh, good grief. That's Dana's dog.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
That's his name is Harvey.
Harvey, what are you
Dana?
doing?
Sorry.
Escapee again.
That was exciting. Wow.
He came running, I was going up to get the mail, he came
Might be on
running
YouTube.
up to me and just
Yes.
like this, and he got out of the fence, and so I was trying to get him
That's a
back.
first for a council meeting.
And he jumped over the fence,
That scared me
and
too.
then I put him in my yard, and he jumped over my fence.
Oh, wow.
I was like, this dog is insane. That was,
Chris the puppy too.
that was some energy coming through. Oh, he's beautiful.
There it is.
Okay.
Man, he's a.
Okay.
That picture,
All right.
everybody but Matt, he's just moved.
Nothing.
What'd you say, Matt?
That has nothing to do with it.
All right.
About the phone.
just wanted to bring it to you guys' attention. We did have Sergeant Drilling come out and did some investigation on well 2 that we've been having issues with for a long time. They pulled the tubing out and videoed the casing. They did find that, as we suspected, there is an offset in the casing, and they also discovered a hole in the casing as well. Unfortunately, it's only a 6-inch casing. If it was bigger, they could put a liner in that, and that would take care of the problem. But since it's only 6-inch, the only other option is to drill a new well in that same vicinity. And the other unfortunate thing is, since it's in a table of rock, they are not equipped to be able to drill that. They're supposed to be getting me some contact information of a company out of Missouri that has that capability. Right now, we really haven't had any issues of not having that well. It's been off for over a year. The only thing that concerns me is if we had one of our other wells, 3 and 4 are both really good big producers for us. If we had to take one of those wells out to have it serviced for whatever reason, it could be a bit of a hindrance to us. We do have rural water as a backup that we could use until that work can be done on whatever well. And I would do my best to schedule that where it was when we were on rural anyway, so it wouldn't be that big of an interruption. But just you know, wanted to make you guys aware of it. Little food for thought. We haven't got any numbers as to what this would cost to drill a new well. It's going to be pretty expensive, I would say. And I'm still waiting to get the video footage of the casing that has the hole in it and the offset. The guy has been very lax about getting that information to me. I called Tuesday again and to find out that he was on vacation. He's supposed to be back after today, so I will be on him in the morning to get that information to us, because I would like to see physical proof of this instead of just assuming that. So, and as soon as I get that, I will get that video information. You guys probably will have it available, and then assuming we can look at it at our next council meeting. But,
We are lax in making our payment to them as well.
yes, yes.
Holding the check. It's been cut.
Yes.
Bailey.
So, and then move on through my report then. Haven't had any issues with sewer or anything. Moving on to our streets. Streets are all good. We've got some potholes that need to be patched and everything. Everything, all the work is done at the feed bunk. The concrete's been poured, asphalt work is done, all the ditch work around there, so that is all completed. The situation up at 56 and Maple and on the south side by Rock Creek Cafe, I've been in contact with the county and the state. The Ryan Fine, the head county guy, I met with him last week. They are going to come and take care of the water situation on the northeast corner of that intersection. I will be there during that work. They want to dig that up and see if we can possibly figure out where that groundwater might be coming from. Their solution was in line with mine, that we just put a drain box in there, and they wanna cut a ditch around the corner and off to the east to go into that waterway there. He also, I showed him our sinkhole on the south side of the road by Rock Creek. He assured me that they would come in and they would do the work on that and take care of that as well. Whether that holds true or not is yet to be seen, but because it's always been my understanding that that was our responsibility and they're responsible for the road right away. Or the road itself. So, either way, it will be taken care of and addressed. He told me, when I did talk to him, that it was gonna be about 2 or 3 weeks before they could get over here to start in on any of the work. It didn't sound like it was gonna take too terribly long once they get on it. They're just really busy right now, so I'll be reaching out to him again here in the near future to make sure that we're still on that schedule. And then we've also had, yeah, if you wanna go ahead and scroll on up, Becky. So down here by Co-op and Pinnacle Propane Gas, we've had the sinkhole has opened up, and what we discovered is it's right in line with this culvert here that runs all the way from the 2nd Street up there by the old grocery store. It runs underground all the way and it daylights out to here. We've had issues in the past where this has done the same thing, where it just opened up right above the pipe, and we basically put a Band-Aid on it by putting a metal plate over the top of it and covering it back up. What I've discovered with this one is there's a smaller culvert pipe that's about 16 inches in diameter that has just been shoved inside of this 36-inch pipe that you see coming out of the end of the drive there. And it wasn't sealed or anything, it was just one pipe stuck inside of another one, and then they covered it over. So what we're proposing to do is dig up this 36-inch culvert tube all the way back to where this sinkhole is, and probably a little further to the north, and hoping to be able to find some good, decent pipe that we can tie onto. And we would like to run new culvert from there and all the way through this opening, this little opening of the ditch here, and tie all of those culverts together and then just fill this ditch in. But we also want to put a storm drain in the middle of that, so all of the surface water from Co-op's parking lot area will run down to that drain, and that's where it'll exit out. You can kind of see in the bottom left-hand corner there where it's eroding away at the surface water getting into that culvert there. That was all 3 of the pictures, wasn't it, Becky?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, one picture that I didn't take was, so from the corner there, going south towards Napa, there's a culvert that runs all the way under the street, over to the south side of 1st Street there, and daylights out. So, and I think by eliminating that little ditch opening there, it will make it a lot easier for Pinnacle to get their trucks in and out of their yard there. And there always seems to be that little ditch catches a lot of trash. It has, after harvest time, there's corn growing in it, soybeans, you name it. And I think it would
I'm guessing it's gonna be more than that. I'm
Yeah.
guessing probably at least
But,
$1,500 or more on the drop-in box, but
Yeah,
that'd be my
And
guess.
that's a 36-inch pipe going into what size pipe?
um,
Goes under the street.
it's north where the cones are is a 16-inch pipe, and then it's just shoved inside of that 36-inch pipe. And in my opinion, that 36-inch pipe is entirely oversized. It doesn't need to be that big. And then where it goes through the ditch and comes into the other one, that's about a 15-inch pipe as well. That oversized 36 was put in there,
Anyone has any better thoughts as to what you wanna do on that?
no.
It appears that what has happened is I don't know, with the rains and that oversized pipe, it's washed out the gravel in between those two pipes.
Yeah, and that 36-inch pipe is about a fourth, yeah, right in there, Becky. Yeah. It's a good fourth.
The holes, yeah, that's the ditch, and then the holes back up.
Go down Street View, Becky.
Drag your little person, go over there.
So I'm gonna drag my little guy.
Yeah, just drag the little person.
Oh, there he is finally. Okay. It's when I'm on the Wi-Fi, my computer does not work very well over here. So that right there. Right, that it?
Yeah, that's it.
That is
Yeah.
it. We did discuss whether we should bring the water, just cover it up and bring the water on over to the corner. Our concern with this corner over here is with the trucks, we probably need some concrete work on that corner or some walls or something, cause it is sloughing off over on that corner with the trucks turning there. So, I don't know what we probably ought to address that at the same time, but it's kind of a different question.
Yeah, and I had looked at that, the other day, and it's holding up fairly well. I put some good sized rock in there to kind of help with that situation. Push that car out of the way.
I know, my car's in my way, I can see the ditch.
There you go.
I was wanting to see right there.
Can you go down First Street? And that's an old picture.
And it says 2011.
I think that was the old city truck.
That's what I was just thinking. Yeah, right.
Best. Right there.
Yeah, right in there. It's not gonna let you get off the roadway to look at it, but yeah, right in that area, you know, and we got, cattle trucks coming in and out of there, over the weekend and up until Tuesday or so. I'm really surprised that somebody hasn't dropped a wheel off in that and got hung up and had to call somebody to come and pull them out of there, so. And that is where the culvert goes south across First Street there, and then you can see on the other side there to the south where it daylights out. And then it goes through that little ditch, and then it shoots across Shawnee Heights Road over towards the, vet's office.
We've cleaned that ditch out since then.
Yeah, it don't look like that no more.
Where is it?
Right
Right
there.
there? Right
Here
there?
it comes in.
Yeah, right there's where it comes out at.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of. You could. Nobody's wanted to dig up across the road,
Now,
so this will be kind of the big issue there.
our
Although
other,
we need to.
yeah, so our other option is to, where the little round sinkhole is you just open that up a little bit more, pour concrete in around there where those two pipes are shoved together, and clean out the ditch in between the two culverts, reshape it a little bit, and kick the can down the road. To put
That
it,
thing is
to put it,
going all the way from that sinkhole all the way up to Second Street, it's gonna be full of salt and sand, gravel and everything else. And just by putting that all continuous pipe, I mean,
There's-
just adding more feet underground.
Well, keep in mind though, Matt, which, Becky, if you go.
I know, there's a
There's
grade.
there's two grates in there. We put two grates in.
You want me to go this way?
and, yeah,
So
there's
where
one
they-
There's one
Right
here.
there. Nope,
just a little bit.
keep going.
There's one by that sign right now.
Yeah,
There.
right
There and right there.
Yeah,
Yeah, see those
There.
two?
yep, and then there's
There
one
and
just
there.
a little
That
farther,
one's there and
right
there.
there,
Yep.
yep.
So it's fairly clean between Second Street and that. Now, I will tell you, from that drop in to there,
That drop there probably gets a lot of gravel from the truck.
gets some, yeah, it does wash in there, some, but, most of it is coming in, washing in from above, from around this corner. Where that white truck is, it washes down to that ditch. He keeps filling that ditch in with gravel off the top, that's why I think if we put a drop-in box, that'll at least keep the gravel on the surface,
And do a little regrading of the
but,
parking lot itself there on the south end to kinda
I don't know what else you guys
water a
are
little
doing.
bit.
I do know that we've, right about where the arrow is, kind of going across. I don't know where the railroad tracks went across there at exactly, but we know that there is an old box culvert, a railroad box culvert that's made out of railroad ties for
And that's the one.
40, 50 feet across there. It goes from culvert, seeing steel culvert to railroad ties, square culvert, back to,
Right in here?
yeah,
So we're going about right here
Yeah.
somewhere?
so it's back in there.
Right in
Right
that,
in here.
right in that
Right in
area
there
there.
somewhere.
And that's where we put that plate over that when that opened up.
Right, but then after we put the plate in there, we tore it all back up, took the plate out and recapped it
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
with all
yeah.
that. Cause we didn't really
So-
wanna tear all that, at the time, all that, railroad ties out of the ground. Cause they stood the railroad ties upright and then put a bottom in it. Is what it looks like they did.
Yeah.
And then capped it.
I'd almost think we'll get an engineer to look at this too.
You want an engineer to take a look at it?
I'd hate to spend all time and money, end up with the same issue in 5 years. I would think,
Yeah.
I would see this as a big expense for an engineer, in my opinion. I think We have engineers for a reason.
Yeah.
They need to be used.
Yeah, and I'm good with that too, you know.
All right, I gotta call the Finian turnip guy back anyway, I'll see if he can look at it. All right, is that the consensus of the council? You wanna get a better look at this? We got it flagged off right at the moment, so a semi doesn't fall in it, and I don't think we're in danger of it getting any bigger to speak of.
No.
It was surprising to go down there on Sunday.
Yeah.
Did someone just alert you to it?
I found it.
Yeah.
I went down to I walked across to talk to Alva, and I'm like, huh, Alva, maybe you ought not to drive in that.
Yeah. And the cavern is a lot bigger than just that opening that you see on the surface. It kind of cones out underneath.
Yeah, because it's a couple foot hole down there. You wouldn't want to drive over it.
And then after I've got the locates all done now, I see that just to the west of that, about 4 or 5 feet, there's a gas line main that runs right through there going north and south, and there's also fiber and phone lines that looks like a couple of them probably cross over that culvert area, so.
Good times. Okay.
So that's all I got for you folks on my report,
All right. So consensus of the council is we're going to get some engineering, just make sure we're on the right path here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's what we'll do then. I'll reach out to a couple firms and see if they will take a look at that, what their time frame is. Okay. Anything else on, I think we'll probably be fine with flagging it off. We may want to get some better barricades.
Dragging timbers over.
We could drag those timbers over. You could put those timbers right over the top of it. That may be a good plan. Okay, we do have the skid steer and the forklift. We could just take them over there and move them over.
And then when they sink out of sight, we can say, we don't know what happened here.
We don't know what happened. All right, so we'll take a look at that. We'll make sure we keep everybody off that. Just want to be sure it's safe. Because it'll probably be a little while before they can take a look at it. All right. Anything else in maintenance items?
Nope, I believe that's it for now.
All right. OPR action items. Anything from the OPR board? Season's starting. We're making good progress on the bathrooms. They got the doors in. We do need to do some painting. I know, Danny, you did some painting over there this week.
Yes, both bathrooms have been primered and the girls' bathroom is painted.
Awesome.
So, either tomorrow or Friday, probably tomorrow, I want to try to get the boys' bathroom painted.
Okay. So
And
everything's
then-
painted. We do have some, we either gonna have to patch the tile or take the tile out. So we gotta make that decision. We got all the partitions are out of the women's restroom, is that correct?
Yes.
Still have 2 toilets?
Yes.
Okay. Is our plan to pull one of those toilets?
That's
or-
what I needed to talk to you about. If we're gonna, make those, ADHE compliant, I think we're probably gonna need to get, more handicap accessible toilet in there. I would go with just one, cap the other one off, and then you're probably gonna need some grab rails on the wall as well if we're gonna make that correct.
So do we wanna authorize Danny to get a couple new, nice, new toilets in there? We can, how are the sinks?
I think the sinks are fine.
Okay.
we might need to upgrade the faucet handles themselves to
For
the
levers.
more, yeah, the lever style instead of just knobs. But that will be a small expense, I would think.
Okay. Alright. We got, we need a motion for that? Are you guys good with getting some new toilets and grab bars and what have you?
So the men's room, we just need one toilet, and the women's room, cap one, and maybe the other
Yeah,
one.
get 2 new toilets and
Yeah.
grab bars for both of them.
Yeah, I'll make
And
that,
handles.
I'll make that motion,
I'll
to buy
second.
2 new taller toilets and grab bars and the correct handles for the sinks.
Okay, we got a motion by Polly,
I'll second.
and a second by Cheryl. Any other discussion on that?
Wouldn't this fall under what we're talking about as far as just
Expensive.
coming rent this? Just do it.
Okay,
Thank
I haven't got that policy all updated, I just haven't.
you. Just bring
It's
it
been
up.
a few days.
alright. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Alright, motion passes. Well, we'll get those, taken care of. First game is towards the end of March, and any concerns with,
March 20th.
any concerns with that, Danny? You guys think you can
March
I think we're on
23rd,
track.
first
on
game.
track for
Yeah,
that?
I think
Okay,
we're on track.
good deal.
And I've got some ideas that I run by you about the tile situation
Okay.
over there. I've laid tile before, so
I just wanna make sure that, some of it's chipped or whatever. I wanna make sure they can roll a wheelchair easily up into it, and right now they can,
right, yeah.
so. I
Yeah,
don't
they
care
had
what
to
we
take a
do to
little
fix it,
bit
but-
out right inside of the doors, and then in the girls' side, there was, the 2 before that was set down for the, stalls. And when the tile was put in, that was not pulled up to cover that, so I can fix that.
Alright.
That
I'll
tile,
leave the discussion up to you, but, we'll make sure we get that taken care of, where it's nice and, nice and neat and organized.
Yeah.
And clean,
professional.
And
yes,
appealing and.
not a bunch of patchy
So when
tile
people
either.
come to our town, they're gonna go, oh, this looks so nice.
If you can't imagine, Tom, maybe it'd be worth it to tile, put just epoxy on the top of it. That way,
Well, that's it, that's an idea as well.
then it doesn't have to match, it just has to do the same elevation. Throw whatever tile you want in there, grab it, and then go get an epoxy kit.
Yeah.
Bathrooms.
I got an epoxy kit for you.
Epoxy. Yeah, and that was another thing that I was thinking too, is just to fill that in with epoxy and where it, the self-leveling kind, where it just be the same level as
Well,
the
you
tile.
can do that if you wanna just do that and then epoxy paint it over the top of it.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Yeah,
Be the most consistent look.
okay,
That would probably be easier to do it that way, actually, than.
Yeah.
have
Okay.
a cut tile and buy thin set and all that
Alright.
stuff.
sounds good. Okay, anything else on OPR action items? If not, that takes us to pool action items. Little bit of an update, we got our flanges ordered, I think we said that last meeting, but they are ordered, they should be here, I'm guessing towards middle of the month-ish. I'll call them on Friday and see if they're on track. Once they get there, then we'll need to put our valves all back together. The only question I had, Danny, and you tell me if I'm crazy, do we want to take the time and effort to pull that pump out and take it over to Patchen now and just have them look it over for the impeller and that kind of stuff, and the motor, or do we, you think it's, what's our thoughts on that? I know that's, it's not terribly hard to take off, but it's not terribly easy either.
Right. And, I think we can probably, I'm pretty confident we could run it one more season before we'd have to have it looked at.
Okay.
One thing that I can do is, we can, run a voltmeter on it and see what kind of resistance we're getting and how hard it's having to work. That, I think that would tell us a lot. I can also, stick a camera in there and take a shot of that impeller, from inside the kettle, and, we'd be able to look at it that way and see if there's any pitting or cracks or
Okay.
anything like that.
You didn't wanna get halfway through the seasoning and the impeller falls off.
Right.
Not that
And-
that's happened before.
And we do have that backup pump that,
We can put on there, but we got a throttle.
yeah,
It's really weird.
yeah, it's
Okay.
nothing wrong with the pump, it just doesn't quite match up with our.
Okay, anything else on that? We did have a suggestion, so we, got a couple options here. Somebody suggested, would it be nice to have some type of slide or something on the pool? We've talked about it in the past, some sort of amenity, for the pool. We got the diving board, seems to be okay. We used to have 2 diving boards, we took one out. I think that's for repair, and then we decided not to put it back. So somebody suggested we get a slide, and you can spend a few $1,000s on a slide or $50,000 on a slide. So we chose a couple options here. We may have some space for a slide of some kind.
That's just what Madison presented, there's no numbers really.
Yeah, I think the one was 3,000.
Yeah, I believe that one right there, Becky, is the one that, she was really leaning towards. It's a little over 3,000. I went up there with her and we done some measuring to see where it would fit best at. Both leaning towards more of the northwest, corner of the pool. Would be,
Isn't that deep
And-
water?
About
5
4.5 feet or so.
5 foot on that end. Is it
Yeah.
4.5, 5? 5 on
Somewhere
the.
around
yeah, it's right in that transition area there. There is a lifeguard stand right there.
I don't know, Mike.
There must be 4'6"
It's-
depth for
Yeah.
slider seat, so.
Would have to go in that corner
Yeah,
or in the deep end. We didn't really feel the deep end was
yeah,
the place to
you
put
know,
it. So
we were,
I don't know. We could look at this. So we can table this for a little bit, or I mean, we do have plenty of work in the pool to work on the pool house and getting it up to snuff and painted and upgraded. So I don't know. Seemed like a good
Take
idea.
a water source too, doesn't it?
Would take a water source.
My other question though is how is where
I'm
it's
guessing.
at affect swim team and those lanes? I mean, I realize swim team is only 1 meet a year, but it is something they practice every day.
Yeah, on the.
Don't wanna.
It had to
Put
be
it
on
in,
the.
put it in the west corner too.
Yeah, if it was on the side, on the west side, it'd be okay, but on the northern side, it can't be on the north side.
yeah,
As long as it was in that northwest corner.
If it is in a lane, then they can't
I know, but-
start, they can't
You
start.
got the
once.
kiddie walk-in pool that goes whole distance pool.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
because this is.
Yeah,
The
it'd
lanes
be
are
on-
over
the
here.
lanes are over
Yeah.
there, that's right.
Yeah,
You got that
and
whole
that's-
northwest corner.
Yeah.
yeah, and that's where I was
Oh, okay.
suggesting that.
What kind of
And-
effort, I mean, how, like, to install something like this, does it,
I don't
you
know.
have to re-pour concrete, or is it
Or
roll
is it
into
anchored?
something?
Say just anchor it.
Most likely you use screw anchors on that.
Okay,
I'd be more concerned if you have to cut in, trench in to get your water source over to it. You don't wanna run something on top of the concrete that's a trip hazard.
Right.
And I think this would be a wonderful project to hand off to somebody who wants to raise
those groups.
One of those groups, hey, we need something.
Does this
You know, we
require a
need
water
something.
source, or is this just a slide, like just like
I
a slide
thought
like you
it
put on
was
the
just a-
playground?
I thought it was just a slide.
I don't know, I guess we can
I
find
wouldn't
out.
wanna go down without a water source,
Yeah.
ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I get-
but I didn't know, cause it doesn't say, and it doesn't really.
Lean back.
It doesn't say.
Water stub
Stub
location.
location,
Probably.
so,
They'd get awful hot and sticky without water.
yeah.
I would think so.
And I guess that would be silly, why would you wanna slide without water on it, that would be kinda dumb.
Alright, sounds like, we want to investigate this a little more before we are making any decisions on it. That's what I'm hearing.
Okay.
Any challenge to that? Okay, we do have plenty other things to work on. We got bathrooms to get painted and cleaned up, and there's plenty of stuff to do inside the pool house themselves to get ready for the season, so. All right, that takes us, anything else? All right, if not, we'll go to public safety action items. Any?
Don't have any tonight.
Okay. All right, that takes us to then G5, financial report.
Yeah, I'm working on it, but internet is really slow for me. Okay, so, let me see. Do you have any questions?
Just a couple things to point out, the program's down in Fund 20, and, then we're looking at moving Parks and Rec dollars into there, is that correct?
I
Summer
haven't, I
camp.
gotta call the, oh yeah, programs, that's all summer camp.
And 19's our capital project, those are the two new funds.
Yep, and it has a negative because we went ahead and paid the Schwab Eaton bill and the Western Consultants bill. And I've sent that into our, to the disbursements, so we should be getting that money right back to balance that out.
Put them on tab.
You can see our water, did pretty good in water. We're much closer than we have been. At least we are at least breaking even on water, it appears, this month. So, 42,000, of course, remember that includes trash in that total figure, and we brought in expensed out 39,000. Reserves still looking okay, water O&M reserves, looking okay. Our highways and streets, as far as thinking about our budget and what we're thinking about, we did send in to CDBG that we'd like to at least look at their, apply for CDBG for sidewalks, thinking about 4th Street, connecting 4th Street east-west, and maybe some of Main Street, some more sidewalks on that. Don't know what that looks like. I believe it's a 25-75 match, 25% from the city, but I'll verify that. So as far as streets and things that we got, we'll be looking at patching, pothole patching, a little bit of repairs, some ditch work, and then any sidewalk we decide to do for the year. Unless you guys got some other areas you want to think about on that.
I did get with all the departments to talk to them about the projections. So they all knew they're gonna be working on it, try to have it done by the April. So we'll be done with the first quarter, so we should be able to have a good projection action, I think. So,
I think-
that,
I think you'll like having that,
that plan.
yeah, I think you'll get to where you can pin on the projections.
There's the checkbook balances, some bank account balances. Done.
Any questions on any of that?
Okay, and then. Oops. So, the trash, Matt had asked about the trash comparison every month, so this is February's. This is what was income trash, this is what expense trash, and the difference. Income recycling, expense recycling, and the difference. So, we're not bringing in enough money to cover the trash expense.
Did we do away with those trash cans? and
Yep,
consolidate?
and then,
Yes.
so, the dumpster over by the shop, we took away the one by the recycling bin, the one back by Danny's shop was overflowing, or is overflowing right now. And then the dumpster that's by the old shop at the park is full as well. So, the one by the brown building used to be the old
There's a
shop.
camera over on the maintenance building, you see who's dumping?
The camera's foggy. So we did find out one person who's dumping and we've contacted them and asked them not to do that. So, actually I called the police department I think handled it.
How did they respond?
Daniel was calling them,
It wasn't a huge problem.
they just said okay.
Well, we can't do that? I didn't know it could do that.
At least they didn't threaten us.
Yeah, it's a philosophical discussion as we discussed last couple months, you know. We want trash in the trash, we wanna get it to the landfill. If you take it away, where does it end up? Does it end up in the streets, in the ditch somewhere, and you're ended up dealing with it in a different fashion? Don't know. It's,
Here's my world. So I got another call today. The dumpster behind the Mexican restaurant is still there. They still pay for it. But somebody comes in, so somebody lives in the apartments back there and they watch that dumpster. She's called last week, she called this week. Somebody's been dumping stuff and they dumped hazardous stuff, paint, like a 5-gallon bucket of paint or chemicals or something. Joe will not take that. If they see that in there, they remove it and they pull it out and they set it to the side. So that's what they've done, and this person is very concerned because now there's this bucket of hazardous stuff sitting there.
and we'll eventually have to deal with it.
And it's like, I said, well, the thing is it's private property. This is a private dumpster that they pay for. So,
Contact them.
yeah, I said, we'd have to contact them. They pay for that dumpster. And she was like, okay, well, I didn't know that. She was really nice, but, so.
I don't know how we,
So, trash patrol.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or over by the shop.
The main question is do we wanna raise, do we need to raise fees to cover the cost of trash? Or are we okay with, I mean, at the end of the day, we're paying trash from other sources.
Were they agreeable to picking up at that dumpster twice a week since we?
Yes, we were gonna watch it. The plan was to watch it and see how full it was. And then, I talked to them yesterday.
So we removed 2 dumpsters and are asking for this one to be done twice a week.
Right.
Yes, that's correct.
And did you remove the dumpster out?
We removed the dumpster out there. Yes, and we have a regular trash can that says Osage Waste, so it won't be stolen.
They have 2 recycle bins and
And we have 2 recycle bins. out there.
and
Well, but nobody in town has the Osage Waste dumpster, so
Yeah.
trash can, so if somebody does steal it, we'll be able to figure out who stole it, because
Right.
nobody in town has those. And they gave us some special kind, she said, so if it does show up somewhere, they're gonna know who. So, they pay a lot of attention. I have been so surprised talking to them. They know.
Uh-huh.
They know who, probably know who's dumping in the different places too. That they do, so.
I haven't read the newsletter, sorry. Is it in there?
Okay.
I'll read it.
So it's been quite a learning experience about trash.
And they dump the dumpsters at the shop, the one for the recycle and the one at our shop gets dumped on Friday. By Saturday morning, the one by the recycle bin is completely full, blown over the top and rolling off on the ground. If
They
they
move
can't,
That one's gone now.
that one's gone. So Saturday afternoon, since that dumpster was gone, they filled what I call my dumpster at the shop. Is completely full of trash bags, and it's got timber, it's got lumber sticking up out of it that's about 10 foot long.
I noticed we had a
So maybe
door,
we need to figure out why the camera's foggy.
Yeah, good point.
we've been trying to get,
Get a new camera.
the camera folks here for a little while.
I've got calls into 2 camera companies, security companies.
Yeah.
Well,
I think we
and
need to
with the
figure that out.
cameras, we, one time a few years ago, somebody threw a sofa in the dumpster at the shop. And so we spent a good portion of the morning sitting here looking through footage, and then finally it was like, yep, there's a black Ford pickup. Yep, it's backed up to the dumpster. Oh, there's 2 guys getting out of it. Yep, there goes, you know who that is? No, I don't know. I've seen that truck before. I think I have. Well, there's 1,500 black pickups in this town. So it's like, and you really couldn't get a good clear picture as to exactly who it was, you know, but at the end of the day, it was, well, this is a service to the community that we put these dumpsters here and it's for people to use. The sad part about it is everybody that lives out in the country around Overbrook brings all their stuff to town, you know, and so
There's some truth to that.
to me, the simple solution is we either get a bigger dumpster at the recycle to handle a weekend's worth, or we have it dumped more frequently, like
I
on
think that's
Friday.
the solution that we came to ask them to empty it twice a week and see where we.
Yeah, you know, and if they could do it like on Friday and Monday, I
I
think
don't think we can
we
discuss
wouldn't
them though. I
see
think they
the-
come on their time.
What did the county think about moving the recycling trailers back where they used to?
I did not comment on that.
Guess we'll find out.
I'm sorry,
How did they know? Oh,
I didn't give them calls.
I think we should, you know what some people do on Don't Overlook Overbrook? I think it's really successful. They take a picture and they put it, and they say, hey, what the heck? And then everybody sees it and they're, you know, like, people shouldn't do that, and, whoa, you know, then there's 50 comments. We should do something like that.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the direction we want to head, but
So I will call Osage Waste tomorrow and see if they will put your dumpster, since I did get full already.
Yeah.
On the, she said they come on Tuesdays. for the-
Fridays.
Tuesdays and Fridays for the big dumpsters.
Yeah.
So,
Sometimes they come 3 times a week, or Brookside is 3 times a week, and grocery store used to be 3 times a week. I'm pretty sure Brookside and the school are 3 times a week, but I don't know.
If we could, this is just a comment, but if we could figure out who people are, like get a better camera angle, could there be an ordinance of ticketing people who are not, I mean, if I threw some trash in there, you might go, oh, Cheryl should have got to put out her trash, but if it's somebody that's not on the trash, you know, could
Well,
we
if you find
ticket them?
somebody who's putting like a couch in there for crying out loud.
Guess we could send them a bill.
common sense needs to rule.
I mean,
Well,
can
you'd
we-
be
can we
amazed at the
ticket
stuff
people?
that gets thrown in those dumpsters. I've seen push lawnmowers, vacuum sweepers,
Let's do that.
microwaves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Danny said, the biggest problem is the cameras are just not, but we have ticketed people for illegal dumping in the past.
I think that would help. Word gets around. Right now, the word is, nobody's bugging us about it, so let's just keep doing it.
I do think it'd be worth putting in the newsletter, if we're having a problem with it, and it will go, and the city provides it at a cost to the city.
Yeah.
And the city's no longer gonna provide that service if it can't be use the way it's intended. Church
Yeah.
up
Be a little tough.
I understand, so we'll put something in the newsletter, that's a good idea, we'll put something in the newsletter on,
Again, we put
Yeah, I
something
know
in
you
there,
In bold letters,
Yeah,
but
Did you say
Bold,
something?
red letter.
not capitalized. Well, it seems like we're yelling at them.
And with a picture of what the dumpster looks like.
Because I do think, and I think I
I think
mentioned
that-
last month, I know it's, I think we do need to get paid for water. We're undercharging for water. We need to find a way to get that resolved. On trash, that falls back to, in my opinion, people in here complaining about taxes are higher in Overbrook than Carbondale and Scranton. We need to give them something, something tangible they can see, and I think trash is a good thing to give them.
Well,
If they can
make the
show
connection.
You know,
a little bit of respect, use it the way it's intended.
okay,
The last two times the contract's been up for negotiation, it hasn't been raised. And I would expect next time it'll probably be a different story.
You mean they might raise. the
well, I'm sure
prices?
they'll raise their cost, there's no
Yeah.
doubt about that.
And then, so our red number there will go up.
Yeah, I'm sure that's true.
They are really, really good about taking inappropriate things.
but as long as you give them a heads up, they're pretty good.
They're really good
They're
at it.
good,
I think this trash company's awesome.
yeah.
They
I-
do
I
a great
like Joe.
job. So we should support them in any way that we can by making their job easier.
Okay, then these are the transfers. So I know these numbers probably get you a little confused, but those are the codes in the software, and I just keep them there because it makes my life easier when I'm typing this stuff in. So into all the funds, so like the first one, that's pool, that's the equipment reserve, operation, water, O&M, Parks and Lake, can you see it? Paul? Do you want me to make it bigger? The employee benefit fund, these are, so H fund, what we've transferred. So the first column, it tells you where we transferred it from, and then where we transferred it to. So like, if you go back to line 25, it came from general fund, and we put it into the pool fund. So that's how that works.
I see you fixed your, sins.
Yes, I've rounded it all to whole dollars. And then the last column is the total to date as what's in that fund, each one of those funds from the transfers. I could line color code those too.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I'll color code those.
Thank you.
Any lines on?
Today I was just trying to figure out how to
shadow
make
every other one or something, just so.
Yeah, I was just trying to make the spreadsheet work
That was
today, and
good.
I was having a really hard time,
That
but
was
I
good.
finally got it to work, so. So I'll color code lines, so it'll be easier to see for next month. Okay, and then we haven't had any, loan payment or bond payments, this month. We did pay the interest on the sewer sewer loan, because we've already started taking draws from that to cover the expenses we've had so far. So, the interest, they said we could defer it or we could pay it now, and, I was advised to go ahead and pay it now. And she said it doesn't matter the forgiveness. She said the interest is still gonna be the same, no matter the forgiveness. So that's right there, that's this line right here, that's what I paid.
And keep in mind that 731,920 is an estimated, principal payment at this time until we finalize it. And that's 60%, forgiveness, and that's 40% of the 1.829 million for the project. So, it's just an estimate. If everything, but as we go through, we know currently we're under budget in the bidding, and they had talked about doing some additional riprapping, as a benefit since we are under budget, so we may be on budget, by the end of the project, or just slightly under, depending upon how much riprap we do.
So, that's the only thing I've done in the loans and stuff. Well, no, I lied. I paid this one in February, at the very beginning. That's probably what I forgot. That one I did. That's water project loan.
It's water project, and that one's water project above.
Yes. And this payment is due in October.
That's the big one.
Okay. But I do wanna say that we're doing really good, this time, we had no discrepancies at all. When I went to reconcile everything, no problem, it was real easy. I mean, I had an error, that was my fault, but it got figured out. $10. We got it figured out. But Ben's were perfect, Bailey's were perfect, and everything went smooth.
Great.
So, we're getting better every month.
Okay. Did you wanna show them your little fund sheet, what we're doing? Or is that just in the background for us?
That's just in the background. I mean, I can, but I don't want anybody to get all flip out over it.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. I gotta
That
find
sounds
it.
encouraging.
Well, okay, so. I gotta find it.
have to tell.
Well, now I gotta find it, John, so.
Well, just, as you know, we've been tracking for a long time, I'll just talk about it. You don't have to pull it up.
Okay.
We've been tracking the difference between what Denali says we have in the bank. So we've been doing these reconciling. We've known for a long time that there's a bit of difference there. It's about $10,000 difference. And the bank says we have more money than Denali. So, and payroll, there's always discrepancy in payroll, and we've known that for quite a while. So what we're trying to do is validate that when we went from QuickBooks to Denali, that, and we finally got all of our reconciling and straightened out, is that balance the same? So for the last 3 months, those numbers have not changed any. So we know that it's a correction that we'll go back and make, probably back from 23 or 24, when we did the switch over. That's where we think the problem is. But we wanted to track that for a while in accounting space, to make sure that that number wasn't growing and we didn't consistently have a problem in Denali or a problem in the reconciliation process. And it appears we've straightened all of that out, because that number, if we're doing a good job in our reports and our reconciling, that number should remain exactly the same.
So,
And it is.
I can show you this, so this in Denali, if you can see it, it's kind of light, it's light on my screen too. So this is the current bank balance, and this is the current Denali balance, and they should be the same, and they're not, and they haven't been for a very, very, very long time. So that's what Brian is having me keep track of every month. Once I reconcile everything and get everything done, keep track of the difference between those, and if it stays consistent, then we know exactly what to repair, and that will go back. So I have a really cool spreadsheet that I've made up that's showing the consistency, and since December, it's been the same every single time. So we know where it's at now, and so we know if that changes, then we've screwed up somewhere. So we'll hopefully be able to repair it and
So,
make it perfect and beautiful and the same like it's supposed to.
so really, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a big concern, but we do want to get it fixed, and we are tracking it. I just want to make you guys aware that we're tracking that, and we understand what's going on there. But we chose consciously not to fix it in 25,
Yes.
because Brian wanted to see the rest of 25's reconciliations, and then going into 26, we said we'll fix it in 26.
Yeah.
And the auditor also understood that from last year and was fine with that. So.
Oh, Becky. Yay.
We're getting it figured out. I know.
Okay. Anything else on the financial report? Any concerns, questions?
I closed it.
No.
Kyle, you did make a comment on water, on on paying for, I think, for what I'm seeing in January, at least the billing in February, we'll look at it in March again. We actually broke even in water. We paid out 39 and we took in 42,000. That includes trash, but
Right.
point being that water is with
We're
the,
getting there.
we're at least say that we're bringing in more money than we're expending, which is what we want to see.
Okay.
So we'll continue to monitor
We were
that.
at a deficit for a long time.
Right. So we were at a deficit for most of last year. Okay. And just so the council's aware, we'll be sending out some letters on our lead copper stuff. So we talked about this once, but we'll send, when everybody gets those, if someone asks you a question on it, we made an error which came from our engineering firm in our lead copper pipe. We were required to survey our piping, and they made 2 errors on 2 sites in town, and we didn't catch the error. And we submitted that, so we'll be correcting that, but it is a violation, so we'll be sending that out in your water bills next month. So if you get a question on that, it's because we submitted a spreadsheet for lead copper piping inventory, and we had 2 sites that were incorrect. We validated what the correct information should be and have resubmitted that, but they still want us to make a public notice. So, okay. I think everything else is looking pretty good. All right, if not, I'll take a motion to approve the financial report. We got a motion by Kyle.
I'll second.
We got a second by Polly. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion passes 5-0. All right.
What?
I said, I like that equipment reserve expenses. Donuts. Not from the peanut gallery.
I understand you want to buy something, Danny.
No.
That was
holding
my
card.
interpretation.
I'm holding my card.
All right. All right, that takes us to G6, executive section, administrative action items, and executive session for discussion of non-elected personnel.
I move the governing body recess into executive session to discuss non-elected personnel merit raises pursuant to the KSA 75-4319B1. The open meeting will resume in, how many minutes do we have?
I think 15 should be plenty, I would think.
So 15 minutes. Those present will be the council and
Becky.
City Clerk.
Clark. To come back and put that down officially. No actions, no decisions were made.
Hopefully she's not at TJ's.
I heard her back there.
She's probably playing with the dog.
Maybe.
That's why she's gone back and played with the dog. The dog is beautiful. Energetic, oh my God. I've had 3 German Shepherds, I have none that were like that. Even when they were young. Huh? I know, and then this one.
Bailey?
Always a pirate. No, zero.
No actions, no decisions were made. We're out of executive session at 7:35. We're just waiting for you to come back and write that down officially.
It's official.
Okay, understand, it's official. All right, that takes us to merit increases. We've provided the performance reviews for the employees for the year 2025. Per our policy, we evaluate the budget and we have a motion to approve or disapprove the raises.
I moved to approve the raises.
All right, we got a motion to approve the raises as noted in the review.
On a second.
On a second, any other discussion on that? Okay, all in favor? All opposed? All right, motion passes 5-0, so we'll, implement those, in, I think our policy is it April 1st? Or is it
I thought was after the council.
after the council meeting? Okay. Whatever, or the next paycheck, I guess, next pay period. Okay. That takes us to G6C.
Yes, because it's not. You want me to say it?
All right.
Am I ready to say it?
How many minutes do we need? And who needs to be involved?
Maybe 20.
20 minutes. At, let's go 7:40. And who all needs to be present? Mr. Clerk?
Yes, the clerk.
Okay. I move that the governing body recess into executive session to discuss contract negotiations with the attorney pursuant to the KSA 75-4319B. The open meeting will resume in 20 minutes at the Overbrook City Hall at 7:40, or be 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, and those present will be the council and the city clerk
And the attorney.
and the attorney.
Recess back into executive session for 15 minutes. Someone will make another motion to
another
reset. We got
motion.
some additional contract
Oh.
negotiations to talk about.
Okay.
Read the thingy. Somebody's gotta read the thingy, but
I'm sorry, how much more time did you say?
15.
So I move the governing body recess into executive session to discuss contract negotiations with the attorney pursuant to KSA 75-4319B2. The open meeting will resume in 15 minutes at Overbrook City Hall, and those present will be council, attorney, city clerk. Resuming in 15 minutes at 8. 19.
What?
8:19.
8:19.
All right, we have insurance review.
And is,
So this is our insurance review.
and here is the, okay, so, oh, look, my notes stand, sorry. So this is the,
It went up,
yeah, last year it was this much.
Wow, it went up 7,000.
But then John did want to point out that they do an audit is it an audit at the end of the year? And then we get a reimbursement, and last year our reimbursement check was around $6,000. And there are only 2 companies in the state that do this type of insurance for cities,
Western and EMC.
So we're,
and this is the local guy,
So we're stuck.
this is Ron
on
Bowles down the American, he's our agent, American?
No.
Old Insurance?
Bowles
Bowles
Insurance.
Insurance. Yeah, but he's got, okay, yeah, Bowles Insurance.
I thought that
Yeah.
was-
Alright. So,
So, but it's like, how many, it's 72 pages long. I didn't figure you wanted to go through all of that. I didn't have time to go line by line by line to see where the differences were. I just looked at what was last year's. Ron did say that if you wanted him to come in and go over it with council, he would. Just needed to let him know.
So are you expecting that at the end of this year, we would get a refund check after they?
yeah,
Probably.
Oh, if you
And so
don't use
if-
it.
Yeah, if we don't have any accidents or any wrecks in cars or.
So really, if it was $6,000,
we can expect a check for about 6 to 7. it's typically what it is.
How come my home insurance doesn't give me? I should ask.
I will point out, we have some additional, coverage on this insurance that has proven to be useful in the past. Especially in legal arenas. Several years ago, there's a discussion about, medical claims from outside of the community, from a hospital that, we utilized the insurance on, which was quite a bit. The county was not as happy with their insurance. So they ended up having to pay quite a bit out of pocket. We did not have to pay pocket, so.
So we need
We need a
I need
motion to,
approval to, because it's a lot.
I make a motion to approve the insurance.
I
alright,
second.
we got a motion by, Matt and a second by Cheryl to approve the insurance. Any other discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Alright, motion passes, so we'll pay some insurance. Okay, that takes us to unfinished business, burn ban resolution with county. We talked last month, or December, about following the county's burn ban. If they had a burn ban, we would should probably follow suit, but we didn't really have anything in resolution space, so the county has asked us for our resolution, so Becky has put together a resolution. So I think really the only change on this would be, that our citizens would be required to call,
I'll call you, you get online,
or get online, or whatever the process is.
probably get a deal, and then we can just put it in another newsletter or something.
And they
On
did,
how to-
I've had to call down there before for an older gentleman who doesn't do online, and she said if somebody just calls us, we'll do it for them
Yeah.
online, so.
It's just, it's super easy. to
Yeah.
do.
So I mean, it is a bit of a change for the city. In the past, we've kind of, when they've called here and asked to burn, and the county's had a ban on, we said, no, you can't. But we didn't require them to call the county, so we're just,
Put it in the newsletter so people know.
yeah, this is just formalizing that. We'd have to obviously publish this resolution,
And let's publish it a lot, several times in the newsletter.
It costs like $50 every time you publish
No, I'm talking about.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, in the newsletter,
Put it in
I
our
thought you meant the
newsletter.
paper, it's like
No,
$50.
No,
to
put it
publish
in the
this.
newsletter on a regular basis, because they might miss one like that, right
Yeah.
now, yeah.
Okay,
yeah. So you guys have any,
I've sent this is the county's resolution, I don't know where mine is, I thought I put it, but this is the county's. The one Chat helped me write, I sent it to Pat for approval for him to go over, so he was gonna compare the counties to the one that I wrote, and then send it back.
we'll make a motion to approve after Pat's approval.
I make the motion.
Okay, I'll
All right.
second it.
We got a motion to approve the burn ban resolution to be consistent with the county, pending Pat's review. By Hannah and second by Polly. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Mayor's Summit review of the meeting. It's our next agenda item.
I don't have anything on that stuff.
You guys want to talk about anything at the summit in particular?
Oh, that was good.
Learned cities have similar issues that we have across the board. Talked a little bit about some funding opportunities. Did talk with the Scranton mayor and council about the school situation a bit. They have obviously some concerns. What else did we talk about?
You talked about putting information together, like what's available in your city, and
Oh, yeah.
getting that out to, our residents, so what's available in
Yeah.
Linden, what's available in
What's
Osage City.
available is like,
Like
So-
lumberyard,
oh,
you
so
know,
we
instead of going to
You can
Menards, you
shop
know,
Osage County.
yeah, gotcha.
kind of a
No,
shop.
there's something like that on the Osage County tourism site. website
Kind
that
of,
they
but
go-
we were trying to get, that's what we talked about, there's kind of some stuff, and the cities have some stuff, but, you know, if you wanted to know, well, what's in Osage County that I can get stuff in? Is that easily available, and maybe we should put that out in a more
Like a-
easily digestible
like an
format.
Osage County Business Directory type
Yeah,
thing?
kinda like Kyle says, you know, you can go to the hardware store in Linden or Osage City and actually go in there and buy what you're gonna buy instead of going to Menards and end up with a whole cart full of stuff that you didn't really want. It's actually saved money.
Yeah, Menards is great if you need Cheetos in it before.
No, I mean,
That's true.
And should we be doing a better job, we talked about it last meeting, of supporting local businesses in the county, and even from our city work and what have you, do we know what is available here from each city's perspective?
There is actually a business directory on the Osage County, Kansas website.
So,
Yeah, but how can-
Is it updated
We should really promote that.
on the,
well, I said there's a lot of people that are new in Overbrook.
Just no-
I mean, like I said, these people know that.
I
Do they know what's
And
available?
plus, it's on a website,
or
who's
Osage
going
County
there?
tourism website?
it's not the first place you would think,
It's the Osage
No.
County website.
yeah, so we thought maybe we
Who
should,
owns that? Who,
Osage County.
I know.
well, we could put some links,
What department of the.
but we should certainly be able to put some links on our website to that and that kind of thing.
The problem with that is, you know, who goes to websites anymore? I mean, really? You know, we
I
go-
do.
Yeah, but you guys
Oh.
are still working. You know, I think if we had, you know, in your welcome packet, you know, if we had a couple sheets of paper in there, or a sheet that says, go to this website to, you know, I think the welcome packet, cause do you know she makes welcome packets for all the new people coming down?
Bailey's taking that over.
Thank you, Bailey. I think that's really important.
Director.
You could fill businesses on the front and back of the sheet.
Yeah,
In a couple months, send it out with the water bill.
exactly, yeah. Make it really easy, 'cause I don't do, you know.
I know,
If I wanna know that particular question, I would
Okay,
ask
so just
somebody.
to
I
clarify, you wanna
wouldn't
put,
go to-
you wanna post about some local businesses in the newsletter?
I mean, if you have empty space on the back of the newsletter,
See,
what
we
better
did,
to fill
so
that space in?
we ran for, so, what was it, like a year and a half when I first started, we highlighted 3 businesses in Overbrook every single month. So we did that for about a year and a half, and then it was like, okay, we've hit everybody, it's time to take a break from this, but we could start that over again in 2020, because we didn't do it in 2025 at
But
all.
we could include,
Include the neighboring community.
But then,
But if we
So-
come up with a full directory of all the Osage County businesses, might be 3 or 4
So-
pages.
really,
But
we
then
could
share it
have
to
our
the-
high school person that works for us every afternoon for about an hour, who's excellent at that kind of stuff, go to the county website,
Gather
Yeah.
resources.
pull some of this stuff off.
validate some
You could
information.
validate they were still there.
Yeah.
Okay,
We'll put that in our.
all right,
Excellent.
so let's promote that out of the,
Mayor's Summit.
The Mayor's
Good job,
Summit.
y'all.
we did talk a little bit about how, we're still talking about how cities can share resources. We did talk a little bit about purchasing in some of the sidebars. How do we do purchasing? We're all purchasing a lot of the same stuff. So, can we,
Flanges.
like flanges? Or corrugated metal pipe?
More along the lines like equipment
Yeah,
that doesn't get used often.
right.
Every meeting we talk about flanges, I just think it's funny.
All right.
So I did, so Osage City did get a little irritated with us on asking them to use their, whatever that thing is we were using to clean out the seal pipes.
Yeah, the jet rotter.
Yeah, they did get a little, no, we're done helping you. We're done with you borrowing our equipment.
Yeah, well, partly is that because the piece of equipment is really old and difficult to transition from point A to point B.
Oh,
That's part of the issue, and then they don't use it that often, so then they have to work on it to, you know.
Got it. For us to-
There's a lot of backstory there to that whole.
okay, all I got was, I knew they were irritated.
Yeah, and then, you know, we offered to pay them, on that stuff, but again, it's more of a challenge. You know, should we look at buying a better piece of equipment for everybody to use on that? You know, and how do we share that resource?
So get more from you.
Yeah. Cause everybody needs a jet rodder, but, you know,
Everybody doesn't need it every day.
no,
Right.
and they're expensive. You wanna spend $150,000 for it to sit 99% of the time, you know, but when you need one, you need one. So it's a rental versus usage versus whatever question. But we did talk a little bit about some of that type of stuff. Anything else that we talked about on there? Budgeting stuff. Growth in your community, housing, that kind of thing. Okay, H3, school closure updates. I don't have a ton of updates. We've all read the paper. Obviously, the school board is looking at various options on how they want to approach the enrollment questions and how they want to structure. We all have known for a long time, and I think we would all agree that the current structure of classes is not super great as far as what the divisions are and where they go. Either due to busing concerns or just whose classes are in what schools, and especially the middle school and grade school being together we're on one of 5 in the entire state that are in that weird structure of, 4th through 6th, and then 7th and 8th in the same building, or is it 3 through?
4th through 8th.
Yeah, 4 through 8, yeah.
So it's gonna be pre-K through 3rd up here, 4th through 8.
Still doesn't fix that structure in what I don't know if they've decided what they're gonna do, whether it's gonna be 2 campuses, 1 campus. If they go to 2 campuses, most likely they're gonna recommend closing Overbrook. If they go to 3 campuses, they'll probably keep Overbrook open. I don't know, they've already voted to close Scranton. I don't know that that's the best decision, but that's the decision made currently. So if we have any strong feelings on that one way or the other, obviously we're advocating for keep our school here in Overbrook. I personally think that we should look at keeping our young kids as close to their homes and as possible. Eliminating busing for at least pre-K through kindergarten, or pre-K through 4th or 5th grade in each community, but that is not the direction that the school board is heading. So we have strong opinions on that. I don't know if they're gonna go for a bond issue this year or not. Doesn't sound like they are at this time, but that may not be the case. That's the only updates I have, unless you guys have anything else. But it's a big concern.
I thought they said they were gonna go for a bond.
Well,
I thought they got pretty clear vibes that no one would vote for it if they decided to go for it, so they were.
That never seems to matter. Superintendents want the legacy. And the one that did it.
So, I don't know. I don't know where we're headed with that. Yet more to come, but we probably ought to be thinking about that from a city perspective. I think it's super important we keep our school here in town.
And we're trying to keep a blog and newsletter, a little section in the newsletter for the school. So more people know.
School down up here.
93 or 4, right in there.
I think that the new part was built in 97, 98.
And a little earlier than that. Cause they tore it down, did all that remodel at the same time. We moved to town in 90, and our kids went to the new school when they were 5. Zach was born, so yeah, might have been right in there, 93, 94, 95, 96, somewhere in there.
I was just curious, cause I couldn't remember when we did it.
I remember walking by it when I came home from college or someplace, and it was all torn down and rock, the bricks are everywhere, but I don't.
We can look when we closed Elm Street, cause we closed Elm Street to do it.
I think we really should advocate that the little kids stay in town.
I agree.
Well, the bad thing is they're busting all the little kids from Carbondale and all over here.
Yeah.
That's.
It helps our kids, I really think.
Yeah,
I think it's important, I think they should keep the young kids in each of the towns and then figure out what to do with the older kids, cause I really think you would eliminate busing, at least for every town, people that lived in town. You don't have to bus them everywhere.
I think we look more into the reasons of why so many kids have left.
That's.
Well, we've mentioned that a few times.
We actually, we met with Faith and we addressed that. That, why are they leaving and how can you pull them back?
So, more to come on that. We could spend all night on that discussion. But just wanted you guys to be aware of where we're at on that. 2018 building codes. I don't think planning and zoning is any closer. We thought we were closer, but last meeting, I think we're further away.
What's that young lady's name?
Tara.
Tara. She was resistant to take help on that meeting I attended. Cause I heard a couple people offered to help her with the thing she was tasked with.
Yeah.
Nope, got it, I've got it. Well, this is never gonna get past that. She never thinks about it.
I think a couple questions we have on the table on that, is we had a lot of discussion on the 24 building codes, which I don't know that we're ready for that. And again, the residential code versus the commercial code. A little bit of discussion on that. So I don't have any updates for that other than we're still working through the process. So,
I did get your minutes in the council packet.
Did I?
Good job, yeah, so the planning and zoning minutes are in the,
Who was supposed to email that information out? John?
what do you mean?
We were supposed to email, like,
I got an email list, but nobody told me to email anything. They just sent me a list, here's an updated email list of everybody.
they were supposed to email stuff out, like.
The actual
the
code.
Codes.
Yeah, I don't know that we've got the actual codes yet.
Okay, I was gonna say, nobody gave me anything.
I did not
I
get
put
it.
my work email on it thinking I was gonna get something on.
We did not get the actual codes. I have not seen the actual codes. So we'll follow up on that. Where are we at on the link to the actual codes? Thank you for reminding me, because I kind of forgot. Okay. So anyway,
They have the codes though, don't they?
yes. Got some corrections to these minutes, but we'll get those
They've
corrected.
studied the codes, and they're familiar with the codes.
Well, yes and no. I didn't get the impression that all of the planning and zoning has studied the codes. I think they're familiar with pieces and parts of them, but the codes as a whole. The biggest question I think that came up is that energy code out of the 24
I thought it
discussion.
was pretty interesting to listen to them.
The 24 codes, we're not ready for those. But it seemed to me, one of the members came here a couple times, couldn't really speak to the codes. Had none of the fee structure, had none of the, nothing. There was nothing. We want you to pass these, but we have no information to give you. Pass them, it's a good thing to do. And we've been in that same holding pattern for in
Yeah.
2 years.
So I think,
I'm not opposed to the building codes, I think it's a good idea, once we get the fee structure and the inspection stuff and all that set up. But they're no closer than they were 2 years ago.
yeah, we struggled on the administration piece of that. What do you get, how are you gonna enforce it? And are we gonna inspect or non-inspect? And,
Yeah, you don't have anybody to inspect.
right, so that,
And
Now,
that's
that
why I
meeting
don't
I
know.
went to, somebody, I think it was Tara, she put in there that you could sign a waiver and opt out of inspections.
So what's the whole point of doing
What's
the
the
code
point?
then?
But I suppose if,
If you're not gonna have it inspected, what's the whole point of doing
I
the code?
suppose if someone.
If you're gonna opt out of inspection, you're still gonna do it.
the,
However you want.
really, the
At least
whole
the
thing
city
here
can say
is,
we audited it, is their whole thing.
the whole
But they
thing.
still have nothing set up.
To me, the whole thing on codes is we're providing some consumer protection that's what we're really providing. Are we gonna validate, do we have the wherewithal to validate that any given builder went and built to a certain code? No, I don't think we have that wherewithal. But we're at least telling them these are what you should be building, so if there's a problem at a later date, you
There's
know,
recourse.
there's recourse for the homeowner.
Didn't they mention something about, the builders or the people that do the work to sign some kind of affidavit?
Well, we talked about, a little bit about, requiring contractors to register with the city,
Right, right.
some type of licensure. I know we don't wanna go down Lawrence or Douglas County path, that's too restrictive.
Yeah, and
And that's kinda where we landed.
that's what I'm saying, that I think this person was trying to push us to be just like Lawrence, and that's not what we want.
So, I don't know, maybe next meeting we'll try to have, maybe the Franklin County guy will come back and talk to us.
He's one of them. Well, you know those Lawrence hippie types.
Thank you. Yeah, I like it. Yeah,
I know.
Alright.
I'm proud of you.
Anything else on building codes? I don't have anything else on that. Alright, new business, we got the fire station auction on the 13th of April at 6 o'clock. So we'll attend that. LED lighting upgrade proposal, they'd like us to get some LED lighting. This is for mostly,
So, yeah, this company came in and for free evaluated our lighting, how much it was gonna cost to upgrade, everything, all these, the buildings they went through, how much it was gonna cost to upgrade, what they would do. Evergy has a grant right now that you can apply for that they will cover. I didn't really study this, I'm so sorry, I just haven't had the opportunity to study it. But it shows what kind of lights they would be replacing, blah, blah, blah.
How much they've saved annually.
Yes, so they broke it down by each building. The library is the most expensive. It's kind of funny, because it's the newest building, but it doesn't have any of the LED upgrades. But some of the stuff that he recommended, I said, well, those lights were put there for aesthetics, not LED, we don't want LEDs in some of these areas. So he said you could pick and choose what you wanted to do if you chose to do it. So I would say you might wanna look at it yourself, and see what you think.
I do think it's probably something we ought to look at. In the gym, we've converted to LED lighting, in the old gym. These are actually LED lighting. We've converted several places we just haven't done anything in the library to upgrade the lighting.
Where's this guy at?
I think they were at Topeka. He did in his quote, he showed, like some of the buildings that they've done. So they did Tonganoxie, Humboldt, Carvel School. So they he has all these places we can call and ask them what their opinion on. I just haven't had time to look at it and study it. But I didn't want it sitting out there. I wanted to at least put it in a council packet so it was available for you to look at when you find it.
good information. We ought to start thinking about, we've upgraded a good portion of the park lighting to LED.
Mount, I thought, so we had local electricians,
Mhm.
they should get an opportunity to price it.
Right.
My thought is we probably ought to just say, hey, we would like to take this in stages and we'd like to replace these lightings and hire some local folks and say, replace this lighting with LED.
I think that this is done through Evergy because they have a grant to do it.
Because we know more about the land.
We'll find out a little more information on the grant and see how that can,
I'm sorry, I
benefit
don't
us.
have a lot.
That's okay.
but it is a good thought. All right, that takes us to Osage County Guide page quote. Ugh.
So this was before our discussion at the work session on the
Don't-
guide.
You don't
So
know-
the
Don't know
Osage
anything about
County
it.
Guide
You didn't read your.
is right over there. They put it out every 2 years. So we have,
We used
so
to be
we
in the
have
center.
this page.
A thriving downtown. I don't think so.
So we can edit this, you
Okay.
know, so I was gonna maybe put some more new pictures or something.
Scenic.
Yeah, very scenic, yeah.
New bakery.
Yeah, we should.
So, but
Thriving
anyways,
bakery.
so, and then, so that one page, and then the other page kinda has some details about the town, and what's the offer, beside it, and then further on in, there's this little ad, and then further on in, there's this little ad.
I like that.
So there's, so what we've done in the past is this 3 things, and the whole, so the full page ad is $775, and then, what are the other ones? They're the little ones, I wanna say they're the $65 each. But this goes out everywhere in the county. He said, Dan said he'd come and talk to you about it if you wanted him to. They're right over there, if you know what they are.
I'd like to know how many people actually look at those.
We put them in our welcome baskets,
Oh,
and I
good.
know the library takes a stack, I think I get 20 or 30. And we usually use them all.
We may have at one time, but I don't think recently we have.
May have at one time recently.
She was asking about Pride, and I was like, I don't think we.
So they put this out every 2 years. I don't know. So, and Scranton, so they have like, you know, if you wanna do the inside back cover, the outside, so like Scranton has the inside cover, and they've always had the inside cover.
We had the centerfold at one time.
Oh,
Yeah, we don't have it now.
we're close to the center.
But this is kind of already having all the information about the different businesses in the county too,
Yeah,
so.
I'm curious how many people read this.
We'll put them in.
do we have it? Okay, I couldn't remember.
So, every 2 years they do it, so this year, and we have to have our, in by the end of March. Of what we're doing, what we're changing, and then we have to pick
No,
up.
we have 4 pages.
Okay,
So,
so if you guys have input on what you want there, let us know.
and then I need your approval, because it's gonna be over.
Yeah.
It's gonna be over $500.
All right, do we have a motion? I thought we were trying to update that. Do we have a motion to approve,
I move that we approve.
I'll second it. I second it.
all right, we got a motion by Kyle and a second by Polly. All in favor?
Need our ad to do it.
All right. All opposed? All right, motion passes 5-0 to put an ad in there, and we'll work on what the content needs to be. Okay, Osage County connecting links, sign or not sign?
That's the, you know, the connecting links.
Right. I don't remember which way it is. Do we sign or not
We
sign?
don't sign.
We don't sign. They maintain, that's where the county maintains the center 24-foot.
Yeah, so there's the letter,
The same thing they tried to do last year.
Yes.
and there's the thing that we have to sign or don't sign.
for $498, they can maintain.
So I just gotta send it back with the letter saying, no, you don't wanna sign this. So, but I just need you guys to do that,
All right,
not to
do we
sign.
need a motion?
I make that motion.
We make the motion, do the same thing we did last year, not sign.
That's,
All right. Second,
Second.
second by Matt, all in favor? All right. Motion passes. Okay, and then we got, the last thing is stipend for planning and zoning minutes taker.
I didn't know what to call her, she's talking for a minute
Yeah. We've had somebody come to the planning and zoning to take some minutes, so just wanted to discuss if we, pay her some small stipend for taking those minutes and sending them out to us. Cause I shouldn't be doing it.
and you thought of how much?
Is she a member of the committee?
No,
She a member of the community?
yeah, she lives over on, right up the street here.
$10.
Oh,
She just comes to take minutes.
She's pretty vocal too.
Yeah,
Terry Boggs' old place, the two women that,
Yeah.
the sisters?
yeah,
One of them
Tamina.
is the note taker?
Yeah. It is, but it's really Tamina. Her actual name is Tamina.
Oh.
She goes by Tony.
Call her Tony.
Are we, when we talk about stipend, are we just talking about like a thank you gift as things for taking the notes, or we're
I
gonna
don't
pay
know.
her?
This is truck.
Yeah, she had $25 a meeting, is that?
Something like that, $25.
Did we pay anybody else to take minutes at any other meeting?
Oh, pay these people?
Well, yeah, they're employees.
Their
Yeah.
employees.
It's a
Yeah.
government thing, so.
None of them,
No.
none of them.
Parks and Rec has a board member that takes the minutes. Who else? Personnel, I do personnel. What are the committees? Growth is a committee.
Planning and zoning is
King
a
takes over.
required,
She's, quit.
I mean, it's kind of a required, you have to have a planning and zoning commission.
She's
So-
too busy, she's over.
The Parks and Rec, you don't have to.
No,
Why do we, why do we let
Yeah, she's
out
Fraz.
city people?
She come and ask her permission.
what's that?
Why do we let out of city people on that?
Cause we couldn't get enough in-city people. We can change that.
Yeah, she's way over.
We had to change the stuff for like the library board
Yeah.
to extend our city limits to get people from the city.
And this
I've
is
been
the
approached
first,
by zoning members asking that question.
this is the first group of planning and zoning that they've had a full board since I've started working here. So
What
that's almost
percentage
3 years.
is out of city
I
limits?
think we can have two.
Which we do.
You have two and the rest of them have to be within the city.
So they still have an Overbrook address, they're just not in the city limits?
Yeah, they have to live within 10 miles, I think. There's a distance they have to live. I don't remember what the ordinance is.
I'm assuming the people that don't live in the city limits are the most rural.
One of them.
So, I don't know,
Why does she do it?
because we asked her to.
Oh, you have.
Because we were trying to find someone to take minutes
Oh.
and kind of organize
Is it
their
hours?
thoughts.
2 hours?
It's a couple hours, once a month.
$20.
And she didn't ask to be paid.
No.
Right, this was just
Okay.
a nice.
Is she doing
that
a
was
job?
brought.
I mean, she
She's
takes
taking,
notes.
Yeah,
she
these
took
are the
those.
ones, yeah, and
There's
then
a few
and then
corrections.
she's emailed me, hey, I don't know these people, can you help me figure this out?
We're trying to keep them on task. That was, get some organization. That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, it's worth $20.
See, I don't disagree with you that it is, but then how many committees do we have?
Well, good point.
Well, I don't think
But
we
the
have,
difference is this one's a required.
yeah, we have to have planning and zoning.
Yeah.
The rest of them, we
So
don't
why
have to
not
have.
just give her like a thank you?
Knock up some of the minutes.
Give her a gift card.
Give her a pool pass and a swag bag.
No, I have no problem with giving it a stipend. What's it look like though? Is it a taxable stipend? Do we give her $20 cash once a
That
month?
would-
I would say we just give her
Cash.
$20 a meeting, if we can. We'll look at the legalities of that.
and then she'll have to pay tax on it.
Would that go through payroll? Because if it goes through payroll, it's getting taxed.
Right, we'd
She's
have to,
gonna get-
she'd have to be an outside contractor with a
Right.
1099.
Yeah.
Which would not be hard to do.
No.
Yeah.
And she's not gonna make enough money that she's probably not even gonna file taxes.
She
on.
doesn't pay anything on it.
Yeah.
And the
We
only,
have 12 meetings a year.
the money's no big deal, paying her to do it's no big deal. The only thing I think about is other people taking minutes.
Yeah.
Even though they're not required, I get that, I understand that, but it's still, I take minutes.
Yeah, right.
I guess I don't do a
I
good
don't
enough
get
job,
a
so I'll
stipend. I don't
just
get a
quit.
stipend for taking the Parks and Rec. Yeah.
I hate taking minutes.
Right.
Alright. Alright, well, we'll, figure out a pay structure, and it sounds like, consensus is we can do that.
Yeah, we can read AI, those take nice meetings.
I know, like that's.
They do.
They really need to have, I mean,
It's
they,
like,
just
whoa.
open up your, yeah,
Does everything.
there's all kinds of things. You can record it and then it just.
Yeah.
Set a phone right down there.
It can actually, it'll learn
Yeah.
who's talking.
I literally just told Copilot today to make this spreadsheet look like a sign-in roster and it just.
Doctors use that
It's
now,
insane.
Alright.
and which, without even asking permission, they record your voice. I love that.
Okay.
Because it takes their notes.
Do we have anything else on that? We'll look at AI, and it sounds like we'll pay a stipend, some kind. Alright. Anything else that we need to add to the agenda? If not, takes us to mayor comments.
So we don't have council comments anymore?
We will, you make a
No,
comment.
but I'm just curious, was that on purpose? That was on purpose?
The only comment I have is, we got a lot of things coming up, so look at your priorities for things moving forward. We are working on, downtown here, and, a little bit of new look for downtown, and we may talk about maybe moving some benches too. So if you have thoughts on that. Also, just remind people you're talking to, we got the Washburn, students, going around town, doing some evaluating, some looking. Met some folks in town, but be sure that, we get that out there and let people know that they will be maybe interviewing them, taking some information, trying to work on our comprehensive plan, moving forward. As you know, that we talked about last meeting, they haven't, updated our comprehensive plan in many, many years.
I saw one of the students walking in the rain the other day.
Okay, that's dedication.
Their
Was it not
survey
that
is out. Their survey is out on the Facebook page.
On whose Facebook?
Was it anonymous?
Our
or kind of a-
Facebook page. It is anonymous, you don't put your name in there, cause I did yesterday.
Could we also put it on Domain?
I did,
Oh, you did, okay.
yeah, it's pretty quick, pretty quick, pretty easy.
I guess I haven't been on Facebook.
So we probably need to put it on the webpage.
Yeah, we'll put it on the webpage, we'll get it out there.
I think I shared it too.
Alright, so we'll get out of them what we, give them to put into it, so let's be sure we give them as much information as we can to get us a good product. Alright, anything else?
Okay, well, I'm just curious, why, I don't have anything I wanna say, but how come we don't have council comments anymore? I'm just curious what you're thinking.
We put it here to where you could request a comment.
Yeah, but why, we used to go around and I thought that was valuable. Why?
We can consider putting it back
Well,
on
I
there.
was just curious.
Well, there's some questions about, actions that can be taken, cause technically we can't, the actions that are taken need to come from, this side as far as how the meeting's supposed to go. So we're just looking at some of the rules on that, and we wondered if that could lead us into a path of non-conformance. You know,
We talked about the 80% stuff, and we
Yeah.
make a decision at the end of the meeting whether voted on to act on something. Is that stuff you're talking about?
yeah, it could be,
Type of thing.
we could get into that type of
So,
situation.
and it's the opportunity for like, say that kind of stuff.
We're public. So we can talk on the public comments.
You can go in there as public.
Or you can request, hey, I'd like to,
Earlier in the meeting, when there's, when they request.
Oh, I see,
comments, you
during
can
that,
say
you can
anything
say
there.
then.
you can say anything there. And then if you want to request to discuss something, you can certainly do that. Well, we just wondered about going around, that wasn't the best thing to do.
Somebody's always watching.
Well, and I mean, I don't think in Robert's rules.
That's where we were going with that is,
Yeah.
are we really following
Code of procedure.
Yeah.
code of procedure?
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to get at is, well, it's a nice thing to do and we don't wanna be that formal, but on the other hand, we wanna try to follow those as much as we can,
I've been going to a lot of trainings on Kansas Meeting Act,
so.
so I just wanna make sure we're following the rules.
And we didn't wanna get ourselves into a situation where maybe we were taking action, maybe we weren't, so just kinda thought it was better to move that in, cause it's not really part of the, agenda proper. So if we wanna be on the agenda proper, then maybe we should put it
On
on.
the open meetings, I mean, why haven't we already moved? We should go ahead and move, doing our own live meetings for the public. And I mean, thanks Brent for doing that, but it's like, we should do that ourselves. Should
We-
rely on Brent.
We could, there's some caveats to doing that we wanna discuss.
I actually can respond to that, cause I learned this in my class, cause I actually asked that in my class. And the response from the lawyer at the league said that there is no reason why you couldn't do that. That's just another open record that you would have to maintain. So if we were to do that and to set up like Brent is setting up really nicely, then that turns into a public open record that then we would have to maintain, and if somebody requested it, we would have to make it available. I would have to do recordings, I would have to, so it would just give me another job
And
to
it's at
do.
infinitum, just forever.
Yeah.
So once you start that path, you then gotta keep them,
And that's the only thing that.
and
she
how do
said.
you keep them? There's a lot of caveats to doing that. It seems like a nice thing to do, and I wouldn't disagree that it is, but there's some real cost to the city to be able to do that, and long-term costs. Cause what are you gonna do with that 25 years from now? Cause then you gotta maintain those records.
Well, there'll probably be robots doing it for us.
Maybe, but until we get there, there's some challenges to that,
Big robots doing it for us.
so. All right. With that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Polly, second by Matt. All in favor? All opposed? All right, motion passes.
I figured out the spreadsheet thing. All the documents.